This is called light domination, and I got to explain that really well because domination triggers me. So domination used to be like archangels use it. No problem. Archangels have a hierarchy of angels below them, and there's like a whole system of that. And it even goes into magic. They've read, they've summoned things. They even made multiple hierarchies of demons. And they even say that those demons answer to archangels. And they can call on the archangels to make them flee or bind them or a bunch of different things. And that there's archangels and demon equivalents like the Goetia demons. There's 72 Goetia demons, the 72 Goetia angels, there's a lot. And then the Nokian and the Archangel, the powers, the chariots, all the things. So this is a hierarchy of spirits in the spirit world. And there's many other cultures that have a similar thing. And they can go back to what are the peak authorities in certain abilities, in structure, in holding domain, in territory, and them successfully being able to hold that up and then delegate it to others, and that can be viewed. So anything they're using against you, whether it be like if matrixers are being sent at you and draining energy, then you can catcher's mitt, get up underneath them, loving detachment, surround them with love because they have a consciousness, and get them detached from whoever was trying to dominate them before. Bring them to a healing chamber that gets them off you, because that's part of like seeing if you're still under some type of matrix and like, oh yeah, you totally captured that matrix, but the matrix is still around you. Things to question always. Same thing with simulations, and get them off you, and then bring them love, get them to like you, and then there's kind of a mystery school of like every prison that, like, imagine a prison sent at you. Every prison has a way out. Even the prison, the people that make prison bars and stuff usually make a way out and a weak part of it in case they got imprisoned themselves, because it would be stupid to make it without it. But sometimes there are ones that don't have a way out. If that happens, you just destroy it because it's not necessary in the reality. But if you get out, like, oh, the way out's you facing one of your greatest fears or a shadow or something. A lot of that time it's like that in the Matrix, because that's their original purpose, is to bring a person to healing or a lesson. And a lot of the Matrixes that were stolen by the dark forces didn't change their original purpose they were made for. They just got corrupted and turned into something that's energy harvesting and painful and a bunch of crap. But it still has the way out. So once you get out, and then you can get up around it, you can get it off you, clear it, heal it, get it to like you. It goes back to the sources of those matrices that made those things, and then you be able to get them to like you, and you can earn authority in it. And then once you get these, you can earn matrix control, which then goes into it. Offense matrices are going to be the thing, these balls with a framework and a programming are put around you with as a reality construct that orients with like a program consciousness to do a function similar to, if it's good, then it's like bringing an evil being to goodness. If it's bad, it's like harvesting, keeping them in prison, keep having them feel depression all the time. It's something like that is like what the dark and the light do with them. If you've healed them and you earned them, they're kind of, offense ones are like little yo-yos that you send to do certain purposes with beings. I like to keep them safe because there are beings that if you use them as a offense against, they could steal them from you. So I like to use them in quarantine realms to train healing and bringing dark beings to goodness, so they graduate through the quarantine realms faster. And that brings experience to the matrices, which make them more powerful, and they can do more things. And then I can have like a whole bunch of beings healing all the time, and then I get a bunch of brownie points for that. So this goes into the love matrices. Love, when you're reversing domination ability into a positive ability, Mind control is a little, oh man, I shouldn't even be telling you guys about mind control. But it's kind of a, so with these type of abilities, you have to be very aligned like a razor's edge with moral code, because you can get karma with these abilities. So if you're not allowed to dominate or mind control anything that's over 70% light, it will cause you karma. They're already out of that field. So under that, that's kind of neutral. It depends on if they're harming you or if you're in a survival situation, if you need to get out of it, and you're allowed to use them for self-defense. Like if a cop come by and you might go to jail, these aren't the droids you're looking for. You could do that, but it's mostly a good ability to bring evil out of insanity. So imagine a evil person that's a drunk driver and like just fucking up the road and like hitting people and all that. If they're really dark and gone, it's hard to bring them out of that or bring that thing to safety. Some beings like angels will use light domination, which is to bring an evil person that's causing harm, that's driving, to stability, and to bring them to where it's safe back. So, or bring an evil being to goodness. If they're harming so many beings, it's a rare ability, so not many people know it. But that's one of the things. And you don't want to do it in a way that like causes them harm. It actually brings them to like learn lessons and all that, especially if you get it in alignment with the universe. A lot of these abilities, you want to have your source mostly initiate them in a way where, and I don't like to use them unless something's using on me. Then it's just reversing that back onto them, but then turning them towards goodness. And it continues until they stop trying to dominate me. So it will, my force of domination will stop when they stop doing it. If they continue to try to dominate me, then they're dominating themselves into goodness. Whether it be Pavlov's dog teaching them to feel love again at certain times so they orient towards it, but as well if they're doing negative action, suffering, to orient them away from doing that action, that will happen. So that's that. And then evil, truth, love, knowing. So my ability called evil truth is going into knowing, which is if you ask questions, psychological archaeology with evil that you come across, why did they become evil? And you go through their timeline, it goes back to an event maybe in their childhood where they had this big experience and now they think evilly that way. And then with what I do, where you can send healings backward and forward in time, you can send love back in time, especially if it's not set in stone. You'll have to read that, but majority of the time, if it's evil, it's not set in stone. They're like a wound asking to be healed. So you can bring love to that point in the timeline. Maybe they didn't have that much love with their parents, or they didn't have many friends that came along, or love experiences or relationships. So that can all be brought in as something that they're missing. And this is hard to do with a physical person you know the story of. So it's more of a thing in reality warping when the bubble of reality is separate from you and detached. I've seen miracles where people have been able to switch timelines with the school of reversal, where they're able to make a person be able to see again by reversing their timeline back to when they first got the wound and replacing that with a timeline where they can see. So there are miracles like that that can happen. It just takes the knowingness of how it works and then analyzing it with great detail. And then having like faith and love. There's a lot of ways to amplify the ability. Okay. So there's that. And then let's see, here we go. It's my page turn. So yeah, evil, truth, you like keep learning into like why are they the way they are. It could be a lack. Eventually, a lot of it goes back to lack of love. They were wounded. They got parts of them stolen. They've been in survival their whole life. And then being able to give that what they need back in time starts to limit and lower the amount of evil they express in the now. and they start getting more neutral and calmer, and they start feeling more of the love you're emanating, because you established it early on in their timeline too, and then they stop doing negative action as much, and you eventually bring them peace. And it's weird. I've even seen this with physical people. Just so you know. Okay, so then there's so this is evil, truth, love, knowing, overwhelm, rapid speed. So this also goes into bringing them. You ever have like a sped up realization, eureka moment of, oh my God, it makes sense. It like just shifts your whole perspective. This is with shifting a perspective of people or evil to bring them to the truth of the situation with love and knowing, that then gets them to stop doing the harm action in a rapid sped up time. Then there's love fortress, which is your ability to protect yourself with love itself. And make a fortress and expand it in layers and geometries and made out of substances like crystal or diamond or fire or tornadoes. You can make all these layers of visualization, put the energy and work into it, that empowers it, the ritual ceremony, the workout, the dance, whatever you're doing, and then monitor it as it completes, and then build layers off of it, and then make yourself more and more immune, and then be able to even fortress others, places. It's a lot of place of power. I love it as trade, so it's a great thing to trade. Next one is transport the evil being away, which is, and then you scan where they're supposed to go. Part of it will be in faith. So like once your higher self and source are with you and you program to send them where they're supposed to be, you don't really have to worry too much about it. But it's good to analyze that stuff, so in case your ability gets lessened or hijacked or fucked with, then you're not just letting it go without knowing where it is going. So it could be going home, it could be going to void space, it could be going to a prison realm, a quarantine realm, depending how evil it is and how much force and hard it is to contain and keep away from other players of the game, because it can't play nice, is where it will be determined where it needs to go. And then there will usually be a school, if it's acting well, the place, like that's why I call Hell Realms, when the place has been overtaken by the Dark Force, invaded, or a being was sent there and it was way more overpowered than the place and it overtook the place, which happens. If it's not that, then it should be bringing them to peace and love, and like as a tree of the entire tree of consciousness that exists, healing a branch that's a little sick, and bringing it to where it's no longer harming others. Okay, then there's base reality love simulation sped up evil antidote, which will go to base reality, you being able to amplify these abilities. And again, if you don't know how to do these, I'm going to be helping everyone. Love simulators act like matrices. They're just more of a dream thing. They don't necessarily have to be what you're visualizing. This is, of course, more of a into the visual. You could have a simulation over you that makes you in a loop keep playing out the same like lesson or remedy or emotion or trauma or whatever, leaf pattern or habit pattern. There's a lot, depending on if it's used against you negatively or like a thing to quarantine people, because we're kind of a drama factory with all the stuff we've been through in lifetimes. And okay, so there's that. Then next 18th step is evil to good, sped up Pavlov's dog training management. So I can say that again. Evil to good, sped up Pavlov's dog training management, which is what I said before, but it's a advanced, as if you would imagine a branching aspect of yourself as your higher self and source grow to the potential where they can manage quarantine realms and earn a bunch through that mystery scroll and any being you got out of your space, your bans, your capture, you know it's a being that's interested in you. So you want to keep tabs on it so it does, you know it's not coming back, but also it's still ultimately an aspect of you going back to source. So if you want everything to come to peace again, which ultimately heals you more, then you can monitor and add to the chess move of it becoming closer to goodness, and train in that, which is a place to train it. Especially if you send it there, then it's already kind of got some leeway to bring it to goodness. And this also goes into army tech, which if you're trying to do big mover and shaker things on the planet, you have a spiritual entourage. Everyone is going to need to audit that to make sure everyone in your spiritual entourage, which is the beings that follow you, guides, guards, sentinels, loved ones, spirits, ancestors, everything. Those versus anything that's a parasite that's hiding behind the true guides, and so you don't notice them, and then stealing energy, and making sure you're able to filter those out so they are not there anymore, while giving your guides what they need and support and love and sometimes vacations. And then you have your team strong and they're able to support you in a lot of ways. So going into armies, so you'll be earning things as you integrate more of yourself, parts, pieces, past lives, where you've done a lot of things and you've earned spiritual entourage in bigger amounts. Imagine if you were an army general or a leader of a country or a king or a pharaoh or even a god or whatever, not to get into that. You would have things working under you that you delegate to manage stuff. So you can earn light, neutral, and dark armies that are good at certain abilities, like an army of healing, army of managing nature, time, space, mind, knowing, anything, and even going into clearing places out. If I earn a lot of these by doing Earth missions for Earth Mother, she gives me like these representations of things. Like you can even do this for angels. If you earn certain wings, that goes with authority. That goes with an army, and it's the same thing with halos and other things. If you gain that, you usually get an army with it. It's a point of authority. So then you can delegate, and you can hey, entourage, can you get on that? And then they start doing things in the unseen. I'm not really a person that likes the whole where magicians summon demons and stuff, and they do. I'm not really into that. I already have enough things coming at me, so I just like to orient the things that come at me and bring the dark beings to goodness, and then they eventually see me as a cure and antidote. They like me. I will always maintain boundaries with them because I let things into my space based on trust, and then outward in onion layers. Like the most trusted guides, they're allowed around me. Outside of that, off the property, city, continent, state, going back other realms. So then I'll orient it in the light armies, the most trusted guides that are really good, and they haven't done anything to ever be sus or suspect, where I question. Neutral ones where, the neutral intention, whatever that can mean, they don't really want to engage in the game of drama. And then dark ones, which is they're not usually evil if they're entered my dark armies. They're recovering evil, and they're proving themselves by doing work for me, such as going into quarantine realms that they're still in, getting parts and pieces, soul parts, getting them back, and so I can either of mine or my loved ones or people I can trade them back to for something of value, it takes work to get them in the first place. So then, and then them earning to go up the ladder of goodness. So then this is all like a big tapestry of a lava lamp of beings, good and bad, as they go through those states of consciousness, which is ultimately an illusion anyway, but because it's all connected, and it's like an indication of when you're on your divine path of full unity with everything and integrating everything in the universe as if it is you, and seeing yourself like that every day, to where you don't need to control a thing. Everything is you, and you're there, and it's in full spectrum voting and goes along with you in a flow, versus when it's out of alignment and disruptive and back and forth with itself and not fully being in agreement, in like a chaos in a body.